It is Donkey Kong Jungle Beat.
Yeah, let me start out with a story.
Go for
So,
it.
my family, like at least my parents for sure, really enjoyed camping, and so we went out camping as a kid a lot, especially during the summers. Also, our birthdays, a lot of our birthdays, also lined up with the summer.
No
So it
way.
was my younger brother's birthday. We were out camping, and because it was his birthday, so he got a gift. It was a lovely game, which you can see right here, and we were so excited to get home. Like that was the hardest weekend to live through because we had this box with this game and this set of bongos inside the box, and we were nothing but excited to try it. And honestly, I will say across the board, I think we can all say that Nintendo is known for gimmicks.
For sure.
Whether or not they are good gimmicks, it varies, but they like to try a lot of things. And like I find that a lot of them are, they trade blows. But there is nothing cooler than as a kid being told, "Here's how you control a game." I hope that came through on the Discord, but it's literally just smacking a drum. And that's how you play the game. So, like, I find, like, limited controls in games really interesting. I don't know if anybody out there has seen some of the things that have been, like, done with, like, Dark Souls and other games where it's, like, they use, like, a DDR pad and, like a guitar from Guitar Hero to play Dark Souls, like using whatever kind of weird controls they want. What about a set of bongos? This is an entire platformer game with boss fights that and quite a few different control styles that use nothing but a set of bongos. You hit one, it's one button, hit the other, it's another button, and you clap, and there's a microphone that picks that up. So there's 3 inputs and a pause button, which is really interesting to me. So the game pretty much consists of running back and forth by beating the left or the right bongo to walk. I believe it is clap to jump, and he also, while jumping, does a clap attack that damages enemies around him and collects bananas. And the whole goal is to collect bananas over the stage and get to the goal. And in just standard, like, Donkey Kong, standard, like, Nintendo fashion, the levels are, like, really, really complex and have a lot of different mechanics. More than you'd expect, considering that you are literally limited to 3 buttons and a pause button. Like, 3 buttons to control the game. Which, funny enough, if you plug in a standard GameCube controller, you can actually play it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I believe the controls are mapped to L, R, and A as the 3 controls. So, I mean, if you find another game on the GameCube that uses those 3 controls, it does work. So, I find these kinds of era games really interesting because it's an era that they put a lot of time and effort into games that had weird controls. This was a very brave game from what I can tell. Cause like they developed an entire product that needed to exist for the game to be played properly. And it had to be durable too. You don't understand how much we just absolutely destroyed these drums as kids. Like, you have no idea. The end of each stage, literally, you mash on the drum, each of the drums, as fast as you can to get extra bonus points at the end of the stage. We would literally, at the end of each stage, have me and my 2 brothers, 2 out of the 3 of us, we'd each take 1 drum each 2 people each beating on one of these
wow.
drums non-stop for the couple seconds they give you. And they're still functioning. They are actually a bit rattly, but it still works. I legitimately like am curious now that I'm looking at it to how they make this, like how they make it so durable. I need to go and check in how this is put together because I'm always interested about that kind of stuff.
The inner workings and what. I had the biggest smile on my face. You talk about this, by the way, Embii. I could just tell this was a great experience and a great memory, and like I said, a very cleverly put together game with the limitations.
Like honestly, yeah, I played this game. I didn't play it a lot though. I honestly, back as a kid, I loved playing games, but I also loved watching them. My brother loved this game. He played it time and time again, and I'd watch him do it, and I'd help him out, get an extra score at the end of the stage too.
Oh, that's cute. I love that.
Like, and the amount of like, and the funny thing is, like, even the boss battles at the end of each world were really interesting, because I believe there were like 3 or 4 different types of boss battles.
Yeah.
A lot of them were reskins, like just recolors of the same stuff. But usually when they did, they had like a cool new mechanic. I believe one of them was a elephant, like a robot elephant that would shoot missiles at you. And you had to bounce those missiles back at it, and then you could attack him. One of them was a bird that was carrying a giant, like, bomb, and you would literally jump up to the bomb and bash your head on it until the bomb blew up. I don't know why he was carrying the bomb. Video game questions. You never question these things.
It just happens.
And then there was always ones where you would fight another like DK like Kong.
Yes, I remember those.
And it was like an actual like beat 'em up where you had to like you'd have left punch, right punch, and then clap would be dodge.
Yep. Some of those were tough.
Yeah, some of those were really tough. It was a really interesting thing. And also, the funny thing is, like, things like discovering, because you can clap, and you can also hit the sides of the drum, and that would work just as well. So, like, it was pretty, like, it was a very fun toy. Like, it's a fun toy to have as a kid, and honestly, I think, like, anybody could enjoy this game even nowadays if they had the drums to play it with. It's just, yeah. I find it really interesting, like, how the game kind of came together. Because, like, I'd consider this a legitimate, like, full experience. If a little repetitive, it was definitely fun to play. Like, there's plenty of different, like, you could see in the background of this image, the bird in the back. I think that was, like, a little mechanic where you'd grab onto the bird and he would fly straight up. You would, essentially, you'd hit one bongo to fly left, the other to fly right, and you'd fly and try and avoid obstacles. If it hit an obstacle, you would fall down and have to start all over again. I think there were also races on those birds and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
And yeah, I believe there was also a dolphin, which you would ride the dolphin. You would not really control much of his movements. You could control it a little bit, but not very much. The main goal though was he would swim by a bunch of bananas and you'd clap and he would pick them all up. So you'd have to time it correctly. So pretty much like, yeah, goal was like 100%ing each stage, getting every banana you possibly could. And like you'd get a medal based on the number of bananas you got. Like, yeah. I think it's, if you're interested in game design and like designing cool mechanics like that, I would give this game, definitely give this game a look. Like, because I have fond memories of it as a kid. I remember GEEP asking after like a week ago whether I had what I wanted for the show. Maybe it was a half a week, doesn't matter. And I legitimately did not know what I wanted to talk about. I went over, I looked at all of the I looked at all the DS games I have, Game Boy games, thought about it a lot, went over to the GameCube cabinet, looked through, couldn't think of anything, and then I saw the case for Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. I was like, that is such an underappreciated game, I think. Like it's just one that nobody really thinks about because it's one of those games that got lost because like the peripheral didn't translate well. Like it's not a game you can quite enjoy as much anymore, like through an emulator.
It's true.
Like, yeah, you could actually probably set this set of bongos up. I think with the right set of adapters and stuff, you could get it to work on Dolphin or something if you wanted. But yeah,
Huh, Jungle Beat stream when? That'll be a niche.
I
That'll be a niche right there.
I've thought about it. I legitimately have. I think I will one of these days.
I will tune in for that.
Yeah, I need to get my hands on the other bongo based game that uses this peripheral as well. I wonder if I can get a copy of it because I imagine it's probably along the lines of either the bongos are expensive or the game is expensive because that's usually how these things go.
True that. True that. Folks, if he does do that, I want you to tune into that. You got some more for us to talk about? Because you're on a roll.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of running out of like things about the game to talk about. I mean, it's not a very like deep, complex game. It's just you hit bongos. It's just one that I want people to check out because it's kind of a lost piece of history, and I think like even considering how big of a series Donkey Kong really is, like it's such a like beloved series of platformers. I think this one stands strong on its own. Like in the same sense that like Wii Sports does. Like where it's limited by the hardware where it's hard to really like continue to like support it. Like you can't really emulate it as well. So it gets lost in a sense.
But it's a staple in its own right.
Yeah, but it still I think deserves a lot of respect for what it accomplished because it was out of the many gimmicks that Nintendo has tried. I think this is one of the ones that at the very least, once you have all the peripherals and stuff to play it, like stands as like a very very like strong game. So, I mean that's basically
That's it.
Donkey Kong Jungle Beat in a nutshell, and my kind of maybe small love letter too, for being such a recurring, beautiful part of my childhood.
Oh, that was beautiful. That was awesome. Give it up for Donkey Kong Jungle Beat.
Give it up for this game.
Yes.
And these lovely bongos.
The lovely bongos. I have played this game. He is right about all those points, and the joy it brought him and his brothers. Thank you, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. Let's hope that this gets you some more love. Here's to a stream of this in the future from the mighty Embii here, folks. That was a great presentation, by the way, for this. Well done.
Oh yeah. Oh, I enjoy it. I mean, yeah, I like obscure things like that.
It shows, and you do a brilliant job presenting them. Folks, check out Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. It is as fun as he says it is. And I was remembering those bosses, the back and forth, particularly like the fighting game ones. Oh, some of them are so difficult. You have no idea.
Yes.
And it's fun, and it's flashy, and it's great. Everything he said, I was having fun flashbacks when me and my brother played it. I think we did the same thing. We each hit one bongo drum. I can't have as vivid a memory as you have, as you can recollect, but it was good. So
Thank you, Dark Snake.
Thank you, Dark Snake, and welcome. Yes, thank you.